Welcome to the MPAC Zoomcast. We're recording on Friday, November 17th. It's MPAC's Starlight Ball Day. We have our big gala today on Friday night, but next Saturday, we have a wonderful concert, a really fun concert coming up, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It is 70s versus 80s, a musical battle featuring the DiscoTeks versus the 80s revolution. What era had the best music? We're going to talk a little bit about that today with members of both bands. We're joined by Odell Mickens of the DiscoTeks and Chelsey Caulfield of the 80s Revolution. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Good to be here.
So it's 70s versus 80s. Let's start with the 70s and the DiscoTeks. Odell, tell us a little about the DiscoTeks.
Okay, we're a 9-piece band. You know, we played 70s disco, some Motown, and some funk, and it's a fun show. It's two ladies up front and a bunch of guys. For
So,
many years I toured with the Tramps as their bass player for almost 30 years, and I didn't want to travel like that anymore. Our guitarist, he was with the soul legend Millie Jackson for 20 years. And the drummers were Chubby Checker, so they kind of felt the same way, that we should just kind of stay local. So, but together, the 9 of us, it works. We're all friends and it just works. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy about that.
Great. And Chelsey, tell us a little about the 80s Revolution.
So they were established before I came into the band. I've been with 80s for about 4 years now. There are 7 of us in the band, 4 ladies, 3 guys. I think it's really unique that we've got 3 girls up front, all sharing lead vocals and background vocals. And we hit all genres of the 80s. We'll do everything from pop to rock to new wave. And yeah, it's been really fun putting shows together and choreographing and adding props. And we really just try to bring you back right to the 1980s, everything from the fashion to hair and makeup, crazy hairband wigs. We really try to hit it all.
Mm-hmm. Now, both bands, have you done this combination show a lot? Is this something new that you're doing where you're both in a show, you're both doing the show?
Well, this is actually the first one. We were supposed to work together. I remember, Chelsey, last year, and something happened in Jackson. You remember that? At Memorial Park? Yeah, something happened, but we're all friendly. We're I'm a big fan of theirs. I've gone out to see them a couple of times. Oh, we did the Vet Fest together, Chelsey.
Yeah, there've been a couple festivals and all that stuff along the way, but this is actually the first time we can really just go back and forth with the 2 of us and really debut this. Yeah,
you're taking the lid off of it.
Yeah.
So Odell, does your band focus, is it really the focus on the dance and the disco music of the late 70s?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 70s period.
Yeah. So do you have, what is it about the 70s music that makes it so special?
Well, it's actually my favorite, genre, because, I've been doing it for so long, and, it was fun. I remember, back in the day when I was, with the Tramps, and, we used to go in the Studio 54, we played it and stuff before. So it's just been fun. And then I remember we were out in Vegas and a 70s tribute band opened for us. So my light went on. So when I got back to New Jersey, I said to my buddies, I said, listen, we need to start a 70s band. And that's how it started.
Mm-hmm. Chelsey, do you have a particular favorite genre of 80s? 80s really was a transition period in music. Do you have a specific type of music that you enjoyed personally and also performing?
Yeah, I think Well, for me, I really do enjoy hitting some of the ladies of the 80s. So I really love hitting like Madonna and Whitney and Cyndi Lauper. That's always fun to get into the pop aspect of it. But I think my personal favorite is the rock of
Mhm.
the 80s. We've had a really good time hitting the hair bands and
Mhm.
getting to dress and put on hairband wigs and really kind of rock and go all out. I really enjoy doing that switch from being pop and all of that to then just rocking out and going crazy.
Mhm. For both of you, like, why do you think, I mean, I have my own theory, but why do you think 70s and 80s music has undergone this revival and is so popular again after all these years and continues just to be
Mhm.
popular? It never really waned in popularity. But
Right.
why these two eras?
Well, me personally, nostalgia is just great, and the older we get, the more nostalgia is prevalent. I still love the '60s stuff, So all any music that makes you remember, the good times. I mean, the last couple of years with the pandemic and stuff was really bad. So when you can go back to good memories, it's a good thing. I think Chelsey would agree because, like, when I listen to '80s stuff, I just get good feelings. We didn't have any of these perils like we have now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think, and I'm seeing it in my generation personally. I think the internet and social media have a huge influence on that. And I think I'm noticing the younger generation is, like Odell said, really looking towards nostalgia. And I'm seeing a lot of reboots when it comes to
Hmm.
movies and TV shows and all that. So I think it's really cool now that we get to represent eras from the past that are now popular today. I think it works for both of us, and it's just crazy to see that the 70s and 80s are trending, and TV shows that are now being made in present day are taking place back in the
Right.
70s and 80s. Yeah, I really think it's about the nostalgia, and I also think people are just always looking for something new. So, anybody, my age, we weren't alive for the 70s and 80s, but I think we like to look back and kind of rediscover a new era that we weren't a part
Hmm.
of.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Odell and I were alive during the 70s and 80s.
Absolutely.
I know.
It's you know
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
always freak out because I think, like I was in my teens in the 70s. I went to college in the early 80s.
Hmm.
So that era of music personally very specific to me. But I think back and
Oh,
I go, wow, when I was that age in like 1980, and I think back 30, 40 years, you're thinking 40s and 50s music. And now in 2023, you're thinking back 40 years is like 80s music. And the
that's
only
right.
thing that reminds me of that, the only thing that I'm old. So, so I
Yeah.
get the nostalgia. Yeah. It's Odell, do you have looking back at, there were so many great artists of the 70s and do you point to a particular artist as being like when you think of 70s music, like is there one that comes right to your mind saying that artist, that is the 70s right there?
Well, the band that I worked with for 30 years, the Tramps,
Hmm.
that song went all over the world, and where it went, we went.
We're
You
talking
know,
Disco Inferno, right?
Disco Inferno, yeah. Um, we did some great shows with array of people, Village People, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Tavares. I mean, we even, when you talk about the '80s revolution, we've done shows with the Human League and what's the other band's name? Flock of Seagulls and
Mhm.
Thompson Twins. So, it's really no rhyme or reason, who they pair you with sometimes. But it's been a good ride. I had a lot of fun. It was a learning experience for me. I mean, I'm in my 70s.
Mhm.
I'm 71 years old now, But it was very, very good. I just enjoyed the trip.
Mhm. And Chelsey, is there an 80s song that just really, you said you were into the metal, the rock stuff, but is there a song that is your favorite from that era that you either like performing most or you just love the song?
Yes. So yes, obviously I like all the rock stuff, but then I think there's a couple pop songs that I think really get the crowd. And one of them, I have to say, Raining Men
Hmm.
is so much fun to see everybody sing and dance to that.
Yeah,
And
and you guys kill that too.
oh, thank you. Yeah, no, that's definitely, I think that one's a huge crowd pleaser. And Love Shack
Hmm.
also ends
Hmm.
up going over very well too. Everyone hears that drum beat and hears Eric on drums start to do it, and everybody goes nuts for it.
Hmm. Do you get into do the bands get into the fashions of the era too? Do you dress up?
Oh yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah,
Mhm.
we tried to bring that today.
Mhm.
Yeah, my closet is it's a very interesting wardrobe I've got going on.
Mine too. Yeah, the bell bottoms, and the platform shoes, all that stuff was prevalent back then. And for people smart enough, now, or I shouldn't say smart enough, um, cheap enough to hold on to that stuff, you don't have to buy it now. Because I've had it back then.
I was just saying that to somebody yesterday. I said I got all the 80s fashion in the closet right over there. So
Yeah, right.
the show is 70s versus 80s, a musical battle. It's at Mayo Performing Arts Center on Saturday, November 25th. Tickets are available at our website, mayoarts.org. So I know that the DiscoTeks go on first, and then 80s Revolution goes on second, and then the audience gets to kind of pick the winner. So how does that work?
Well, I think that uh, the MC, after both bands perform, the audience decides.
Hmm.
What's the better or their favorite decade, because it's not a competition. The '80s revolution, and that's I mean, we're friends and we're fans of each other. You know, but we're here to support them, and and just give the audience two genres or two decades of music. So whatever they decide they like best, that's who determines
Hmm.
the winner as far as the decade, not the bands,
Hmm.
because there's no competition with us.
Yeah, just to touch on that, I don't think you could have said it any better. Yeah, it'll never come down to discotheques versus 80s revolution. I really think it's whatever brings back that nostalgia,
Hmm.
whatever people really feel that they resonate with, looking back on their time in the 70s and 80s. I also feel it can maybe be an educational experience. I know I sometimes
Oh,
hear
good
songs
point.
and I didn't even realize it was from the 70s
Hmm.
and vice versa. And I think that could also get the people talking in the audience too. And you may learn something about somebody that you didn't know because a song brings up a certain memory or a certain time in their life. And I also think the show couldn't come at a better time too. We're at Thanksgiving weekend, right before the
Hmm.
holidays.
Hmm.
So I really think it's a good opportunity to bring decades and groups of people of all ages together to just enjoy a fun night of music.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think you said it great there. Thank you so much. Uh, Again, tickets are available at mayoarts.org. It's Saturday, November 25th. We hope you can make it there. Odell, Chelsey, thank you for joining us. We look
Yeah,
forward to
thanks for having
a
us.
really fun show, a lot of fun memories and making some new ones and hearing you guys. I know it's going to be a great night. So we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks,
Looking
Ed.